You're watching the Movie Dogs. We bark about the movies and nothing but the movies.
Taking out of the backyard, nothing more than a bad dog. I'm raising hell. I'm a bad dog. On the run, I'm an outlaw. Nothing but a bad dog. I ain't no good,
Welcome to the Doghouse. We take a bite out of the movies. Subscribe to the Movie Dogs and become part of our film-loving community. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell for updates. See you in the next review.
Your host, Joshua Church.
Hey guys, this is Josh from the Movie Dog Show, and today I wanted to talk about something that, I've been thinking about for a little while, mostly because, life's been pretty hard, lately, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. A lot of people have a lot of stress, stuff costs too much, life is tough. And one of the things that we always return to as humans, and especially as nerds, is we return to things that give us joy. And it is harder these days to have things bring you joy. It's like, you watch something or you play something that you used to love, and it's like it's not there anymore. But there are those things that we play or watch or read or listen to or whatever that are like our comfort zone. That like the video game that you can play 1,000,000 times and you'll never hate it. The movie that you can watch on repeat and just smile and enjoy, right? That album that you can put on, and those songs take you back to those moments again and again, and it never loses its punch, right? Like those things, those books that bring us to moments in time, those stories in various forms that hook us and keep us on the line forever. That's what I want to talk about today. the psychological behind, the psychological explanation behind that. Well, why do we do that? And I honestly think, that when it comes to things in our lives, most things change. Like, life is an ever evolving, rotating, morphing thing. Like, the thing that we have nostalgia for, the thing we remember, our hometown, where we grew up, the people we were around, the vibes, the energy, it's gone. It was gone, a month after it happened. Sometimes a year, or sometimes 2. Like, that world is dead. That world is not available anymore. We can't go back to it. We can't go and ride in that car with the fabric dropping down from the ceiling, in high school, and pushing thumbtacks in there while you listen to Rage Against the Machine or Smashing Pumpkins or something, We can't go back to sitting around that TV with our brothers playing Tecmo Super Bowl. We can't go back to those arcade moments of crowding around a arcade with quarters stacked on the screen, ready to take your chance to play Street Fighter 2 Turbo. We can't have those moments. Those moments are gone. But we as humans, we crave community, and we crave continuity and repetition, and those things aren't always available. But media gives us that. Media gives us continuity, reminder, the exact moment. Again, we get to, like, every time I boot up Red Dead 2, I get to do those same missions. I get to ride that last ride as Arthur Morgan. I with Unbroken, like, playing and stuff. Like, you get to do that. You get to go and play Street Fighter 2 Turbo and sit there with Chun-Li's, like, kick and it be no different than it was when you were a kid. You can listen to the Descendants' Hope, and you can hear those power chords and hear those vocals and go, hell yeah, man. And you're right there in that moment. You're a kid again. It transports you. And I think popular media does that. It's like you watch Star Wars, it's like reminding yourself of what it was like, crowd around that CRT TV, watching the staticky scratch on a tape that had been worn out so many times, watching it over and over again. Like, so you can recreate those moments. And yeah, they'll be different. And yeah, maybe the punch isn't as strong. Like, you're not going to weep watching some of those sad movies or, feeling those emotions exactly the same. But it's like the closest thing we got to a time machine. It's the closest thing we have to that moment and what it meant to us, and sometimes connected to loved ones we've lost, it's like, it's there. Every time I watch Return of the Jedi, I think about my mom, because every time I ever fell and scraped my knee, or, had a bad day, or had a really good day, she'd sit me down and go, it's okay, and she'd give me a little, juice jug, with, like, sugar water with a foil lid, and turn on Return of the Jedi and go, it's okay, honey, you'll be fine. And it became, like, it was comfort. Luke's journey in that movie was like, I feel myself in it. And I feel my mother in it. Because that's what it was. And it's like, I'm sure it's just the same with other people. We hear a song and you think of somebody you dated in high school, right? Because she played it for you and said, this one reminds me of you. It's like, it's funny, but I feel like art is the reason why I stand so strongly against, like, AI. Is, because art is human. It's our one true human thing that we have. But, like that we as cave people, blew chalk or, clay over our hand on a wall. And it was like, oh, art, right? And it's the one thing that makes us human, the ability to create things that have emotion, that have feeling. And those feelings reverberate through time to people. And it connects with others and makes them feel things. And really good art does that. It makes you feel. That's why you'll never see me on here whining about, casting choices in the Odyssey. Because I don't care. I want the art. And I know Christopher Nolan's an artist. And I know he's going to paint me a beautiful picture that makes me feel, right? That hits me in the heart. And machines can't replicate that. They can scrape it, they can steal it. And they can, crap it back on the screen for us, right? But they can't replicate it. They can't make art like that. And that's, to me, important, And when it comes to, art's transformative power over our emotions, it's real. And, I can understand why people have spirituality, why they believe what they believe, because art is transformative and has that power. And all the holy books in the world are art. And those things make you feel. And then people, build faith around that, right? It's that way for everything. Like, shit, there are people who have been following the same bands around the country for decades. It's almost religion to them. They have the same zeal and zest for it. Like, it's the same. It's powerful. And it always will be. And to me, that's the reason why I will always go back to those movies. I will always go back to that music. And I'll always go back to those video games because of how they made me feel and how they continue to make me feel. So, all right. That is all I have to say about that. But I feel like it's something I've been wanting to put out here on the Movie Dog Show. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do too many episodes since I'm doing my own YouTube now. But this was at least something I wanted to do and wanted to say. So I appreciate it. Thanks for Billy for letting me take the microphone for a minute and do it on his show. And I appreciate that. And definitely, I hope you all can go out there and enjoy art and feel those feelings and be transformed by them. I appreciate you all. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.
Hey everyone, we here at the Doghouse appreciate you watching and supporting the Movie Dogs channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to hit the notification bell and the thumbs up. Leave a bark in the comments and share this video. The Movie Dogs. We take a bite out of the movies.